Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everyone? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual is Cole. Cole, how are you doing?
I've been getting my ass kicked by physical therapy, so that's a loaded question.
What kind of physical therapy?
They're trying to fix my back, but I'm basically gonna have to have surgery.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. There goes my summer.
Yeah, your summer. As someone who has had back surgery, I guess it depends on what they're doing to you. I had a disc replaced. Well, not replaced, but like they ground up bone from somewhere else and filled in a disc because it was deteriorating. And I was up and moving like 2 days later.
I know I have multiple compression fractures, but my insurance won't pay for an MRI until I have physical therapy. So that's why I've been going through physical therapy. They've been really nice about it, even though every day it's like, I know this isn't going to help me. We're just biding our time, and I'm sorry I'm wasting theirs. But I mean, it's the insurance is making me do it, and so I do what they tell me to, and it kicks my ass. But I'd love to sit and pretend that I'm doing better. But I'm not. No. I love their hearts. The physical therapist, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have you try the bike." It was like the third or fourth time because I've been going 3 days a week, and he's like, "We're gonna have you try the bike." And I got on the bike, and I couldn't even pedal it because I didn't do physical therapy when I fucked my knee. So I don't have that kind of I don't have that much mobility in it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
You're a hot mess, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I am all kinds of fucked up. I'm not even a hot mess anymore. I'm just a mess at this point.
You're just a fucking mess right now.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's also funny, so it's okay.
So have you had time to actually play stuff lately?
Not as much as I'd like. I didn't even get a chance to load up the Division 2 yet today. I had it preloaded last night, and I had my beta code day before yesterday. I was ready. I was in there, and then I was like, I have so much shit to do today. I'm not even going to get to touch it, and I haven't. So maybe after the show, I can sit down and tear through it. I actually have it loaded up right now, and I was going through the setups before we started the show. And then it crashed. I had to start all over. So I still didn't even get a chance to play it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But I did play, I assume we're going to talk about Apex Legends.
Yeah. EA surprised the world with an out-of-nowhere release of a Battle Royale game set in the Titanfall universe from Respawn called, as you mentioned, Apex Legends, which released on Monday. Sadly, reports state that Titanfall 3 is no longer in development, which is a bummer.
Yeah, that does seem to be. I don't know that I'm buying that it's going to be completely scrapped. I think there's the potential with Apex Legends to do well enough that they'll be motivated to let them go back to the Titanfall universe.
Well, have you heard the numbers on how many people have played it so far?
10 million people in 72 hours?
Yep.
Yeah, that's insane.
So it seems like people like it and it's popular.
I'm gonna say I was one of those people and I played a lot of it. And I didn't expect to play as much of it as I did. I thought, oh, we'll play a couple games. And then we'll go back to, I don't know, Call of Duty or PUBG or Rocket League for the love of God. We play a lot of Rocket League. But we played it like 2 days. Just every time we had 20 minutes, like, oh, let's go play a couple games of Apex Legends. And I haven't won yet.
No.
No, we got third, and that's the highest. We've got fourth and fifth several times, but we have not yet won.
I have not played it, which
At
I'm
all?
sure you're shocked to hear.
I'm a little disappointed. You played PUBG, didn't you?
No.
Like once or twice. No.
No, never.
I think that you had at least tried it. I know you
own
played
it.
Blackout with me.
Yeah, I played that with you. That is literally the only time I've played Blackout.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to invite you for Apex Legends.
Yay, another game I have to learn and I'll play twice.
It's fun because I like the benefit of it, and I think where you would do better with it is that the squads are only 3 men instead of 4. So it's a little easier to take out. And I say a little easier. For people who are used to playing with 4-person group, it might be a little harder. But we always play with, either me and Studa in duos or as a 3-man group. We very rarely have a 4th to play with. So for us, it's better because we're not hitting brick walls as a 3-man crew running into 4 people all the time. We have a little bit of an advantage because we're already used to running as a 3.
Yeah.
But we still haven't won, so maybe the advantage is in my head.
So hot in your face.
It's in my head.
Clearly you need me there.
I mean, look, if I'm playing with Studa and you take up the 3rd slot, you're still going to be better than any of the fucking randoms we've been matched with. This is my downside to Apex Legends, is that there isn't an option to just play solo or duos. You have to play with 3s.
Man.
And
that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, like, that's a pain in the ass when me and Studa want to play and it's just us.
Because then you get a random.
And randoms are always awful. One of the things, too, is that the game chooses a jump master. So if the random gets the jump master and they can't hear me and Studa talking about where we want to go or what we want to try to do, one thing about Apex that everybody seems to love is like how easy it is to communicate without actually using voice chat. But I still find it to be a pain in the ass if the random has jump master.
What does jump master do?
The jump master actually picks the landing spot and they can guide the whole team. Now you can choose to launch solo and you can choose to break away from the jump master and go wherever you want. But ideally you want your group to stay together, and that's what Apex Legends does that other battle royales don't. You don't have to sit and go, oh, where are we going to jump? Oh, so-and-so didn't get a chance to jump, or they're still on the plane. They're going to land somewhere random. If the jump master jumps, everybody jumps unless you choose to launch solo. If the jump master goes to the left, everybody goes left. Goes right, everybody goes right. Wants to bomb dive, so be it. But I mean, if you have a jump master who's a shithead and they jump and take off before you have a chance to break away from them, you can still be pretty screwed.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those where, at least if there's a random who goes, I don't want to be the jump master, then they can relinquish it, pass it to somebody else. Randoms don't like to do that shit. You would be more apt to do it, so I would take you over a random every time.
Thanks.
You would be like, I don't know where we're going, and hold B and give it to either me or Studa.
I don't know how the fuck to play this. You be jump master.
Yeah. Man, and the thing with jump master and stuff is it's random. There's no way to adjust who it's going to be. So you're just stuck hoping that it's not the one green guy.
Yeah. So what are your impressions so far? Are you enjoying it?
I am really enjoying it far more than I thought I was going to. I love all the accessibility features. I don't like the sensitivity settings. My biggest complaint being that they're just block settings. So like you said, oh, I want high sensitivity, I want low sensitivity, rather than like having an actual scale that you can adjust. It kind of just like has a chunk. Okay, this is high and this is the setting for high, and you can't adjust. Especially bad is the dead zone. I typically play with no dead zones in most games, but for whatever it is, the setting they have for no dead zone is unbearable for me. And then the one that they have next, which is a small dead zone, is still too stiff.
No.
So I'm in that adjustment phase where I just basically have to break down and be like, either I learn to play with their setting of no dead zone, or I learn to play with this, stiff ass dead zone. Either way, I can't adjust it to where I would actually like for it to be. That said, if you have an Elite controller, there is a setting in there where you can tell it, I don't want to use your settings at all. I've got something already set up on my Elite. It would just take me a long ass time that I haven't had to modify my Elite settings.
Did you get an Elite?
I do have an Elite, yeah. I won one.
Shocker. Shocker that you would win something.
About a year ago. I won it about a year ago, and it actually showed up about 3 months ago.
That's a hell of a wait.
Yeah, poor Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's not fast on the shipments, but I am still very grateful for my Elite controller because that's who I won it from. But I just haven't had the kind of time to like sit and play, die, go adjust my dead zone, sit and die, play, go adjust my dead zone. I just haven't had that time this week.
Are you bummed with Apex Legends coming out that Titanfall 3 is pretty much not happening, or at least not happening anytime soon?
I still haven't played Titanfall 2.
No?
No. And I'm terrible because I see it on sale for $6 all the time. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. And then I forget.
It's on sale for like $4.50.
Is it right now?
I think so, or it was last week.
I might have
one
to
of
go
those.
steal David's debit card.
Or it's in EA Access.
Yeah, but I don't have EA Access anymore.
Well, get EA Access. It's $30 for a year.
It's such a good deal, but at the same time, it's not really great for me because it's mostly sports games.
There's a lot of shooters in there now.
Are there now? Because it's like, when I had it, I was
There's like 60 games in there. Maybe half of them are sports.
That's a lot to play for half games I'm not going to play.
Yeah, but the other half aren't sports. So there's like
but how
RPGs.
many of them do I already have?
I don't fucking know.
A lot.
It's not like we review EA games.
No. But they like Battlefield and stuff's been games with gold.
I don't know then.
Yeah. So I have
use Wikipedia, see what you have, see what you don't have, see if it's worth $30 a year. Because I own probably the majority of stuff in there besides the sports games, and I still pay for having it. I think it's worth it for the 10-hour trials alone.
That is a good point. The trials are definitely good.
$30 a year for 10-hour trials of every EA game that comes out. And then eventually they're there for free. You
know what I need to do? I need to get it just for the discount on all the Sims shit.
There you go.
Like, I'm pretty sure I'd save more money on the Sims than I paid for the EA Access.
See, there you go. Using your noodle.
Yeah, it's a soggy noodle today.
Oh, so you played Apex Legends. You didn't play the Division 2 beta. Did you fuck around with the Crackdown technical test that went on today?
I didn't. I have a tendency to avoid tech tests.
Really?
I don't know why, but I just like, I say that I have played the Division tech tests before, but I don't know. I just like the whole experience is meant to be broken. So I don't want it to fuck my judgment of whether or not I'm going to try the game when it comes out.
No. Well, it's going to be on Game Pass, so.
It is. So I don't know. I've got a fairly decent little hot train rolling after the last trailer we saw at Inside Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so I wasn't particularly giving a fuck about Crackdown. But it'll be free on Game Pass. I'll try it out. And so that's about the best I can get out of Crackdown for right now. And I don't want to like piss it off by being like, fucking servers are trash. Because it's a tech test. The servers are supposed to be trash. And I don't want that kind of I don't want that kind of negativity creeping in yet, Joe.
Well, thankfully the Wrecking Zone, which is the online play, and the campaign are like two completely separate games on the system.
Really?
Yeah. The campaign is its own icon. Wrecking Zone is its own icon. I think they have their own distinct achievement lists. Think so.
Really?
Not positive on that, but I think so. But I think Crackdown 3 might be 2,000 gamer score. If I'm remembering right, I could have sworn there were two gamer score or two achievement lists for it. But
so that explains why Carnage was all on Twitter like, "Oh, can we get the Wrecking Zone achievements?" That's what Carnage sounds like in my head, by the way. And I was like, "It's a technical test. What the fuck are you talking about getting the achievements?" Carnage has got a Carnage, I guess.
Well, the tech test didn't have any achievements that I know of.
I would think not, because it's a tech test. But tell that to K4, because he's the one on Twitter asking.
Yeah, you never know. I played a couple of rounds of the tech test. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you played the other Crackdown games? I'm assuming yes.
Yes, I enjoyed Crackdown 1. I loved Crackdown 2. A lot of people hated it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I think I even got 1,000 on it.
Wow.
Hear that? Or at least I got all the orbs. I remember that.
Still a wow. But did you feel like what you played was more similar to 1 or 2? Oh, hiccups.
I don't know, because it's been so long since I've played the other two.
Yeah, I forget that Crackdown was a game that was played, not just a name that come out of Microsoft's mouth every so often.
Yeah. Well, if you've never played Crackdown 1, it's free right now. They're doing another giveaway to celebrate the launch of Crackdown 3.
I have it, and I still haven't ever played it. Time is hard to come by.
Time is hard to come by. So what other news was there this week? Inside Xbox happened, and they announced that Microsoft Studios is changing its name to Xbox Game Studios.
Indeed. You know what? I'm kind of glad they did, because you hear people bitching all the time in the echo chamber that is Twitter hell, that, Microsoft isn't putting enough emphasis on the Xbox brand, and that they're just going to eventually morph it all into Windows anyway. And this was kind of like, no, this is Xbox. Xbox brand, Xbox games. Here we are.
Xbox is back and stronger than ever, and we're not all about TV and sports now.
Right. Which, for the record, I thought the whole TV thing was totally fine.
I still use my Xbox One as my TV hub. I have, that's what the HDMI in is for. I have TV going through it. Mm-hmm. I use, my Xbox is on constantly because the TV's hooked up to it. I have no reason to use other systems anymore, because
I actively tried to not buy a smart TV when I bought mine. Because I was like, well, we use the Xbox for all that. I don't need a smart TV. Can save myself.
Isn't every TV a smart TV now?
Essentially, yeah. And so that's why I got stuck with one, and I never used the smart TV functionality, because I just use the Xbox for everything. It's like, oh, I want to watch Netflix. Load up the Xbox. Oh, I want to watch YouTube. Load up the Xbox. Yeah. Oh, I want to watch live TV. Load up Sling on the Xbox. I mean, it's just...
Oh, you're a slinger?
Yeah, we don't. It's $25 a month for Sling, and it's like $95 a month for cable here. So it's,
damn,
I'm not an idiot. I'm poor. I go for the cheap one.
We should try Sling on our end. I just worry that our internet, because we have issues with our internet still. It'll just go down every now and then.
Yeah.
And you have to unplug the router, plug it back in, wait for everything to boot back up. I just don't know if our internet is reliable enough for live TV.
They had a Sling and Game Pass deal not too long ago where you bought a couple months of Game Pass, you got a month of Sling for free.
Huh. Well, they have a trial, don't they? Like a 2-week trial or something?
I'm pretty sure it's a 30-day. Yeah, they do sales all the time. Hulu is better for live TV. I don't think so. Just because of the limited channel limitations. I find that for what I watch, there's far more, which I watch a lot of HGTV and the news. That's pretty much it.
Did you say HD TV or HGTV? Like home and garden?
Like home and garden.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Every now and then that estrogen kicks in and I do dumb female shit like watch HGTV. Can't help myself.
Oh God. Does Sling have local channels?
Not for us, but for some people. It just depends on where you are. Because
that'd be a big thing because I need to have my Seth Meyers every night.
Yeah. I watch Seth Meyers. He uploads the whole show gets uploaded to YouTube like an hour after it's on. So I just watch it on there. Usually what I'll do is I get up in the morning because I gotta get up so goddamn early with the kids. I'll get up with number one and I'll watch Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers and all that. All of the late night talk shows, the early ass in the morning. Like I'll catch up on Saturday Night Live and all of that.
Alson Prime saying to try a free internet cable service called Pluto TV. There's just so many options now. I don't know which one to look into, which one to not look into, which ones are worth it, if my internet could even handle it. Who knows? Although I like how talking about Microsoft changing its studio name led to this discussion.
I foresee Microsoft buying out Sling and now we have live TV on Xbox for free all the time.
That would be interesting. I would be interested to see PlayStation TV because what is it? PlayStation View, is it?
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever release an app for Xbox.
Fuck no, they hate us.
I wonder if Sony's hatred is that much that they would never... Because Crackle is a Sony app.
That is true. And it's on Xbox and it's free.
Yeah.
So that is a good point.
So you never know. We might see a PlayStation View app show up once. Who knows? I don't know.
I think you're just hoping, but you're out of luck there.
No, because I wouldn't use it anyway. It would just be interesting to see that app on Xbox.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to see. Maybe Sony will get their head out of their ass soon enough that we'll have unlimited cross-platform play and PlayStation View on Xbox. That'd be interesting.
I don't know. I have an opinion about that when we get to a review later.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, some other news. Speaking of dicks, the Halo Outpost Discovery was announced, which is a touring fan experience that brings the Halo universe to life like never before. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, on Inside Xbox. But I kind of phoned it in for that part of the show. I was like, Halo.
I'll read the description. It says, experience the Ring experience, get up close and personal with a real-life warthog, battle fellow recruits in an epic laser tag arena, experience thrilling in-universe encounters with the latest simulation and VR technologies, and much, much more. Take advantage of hundreds of game stations to play, compete, and explore the storied Halo game series. Attend one of our many themed panels, meet the creators, special guests, and learn how the Halo universe is made. Or take part in one of the many available community events to learn how to live stream gameplay or build an epic cosplay costume. It sounds cool as hell.
Yeah, I'm hung up on the VR part. Like, what kind of VR did they use?
All PSVR. Probably Vive or Rift or...
Microsoft be like, bitch, we are forcing this cross-platform. I couldn't even finish it without cracking up. But yeah, they're gonna... I don't know.
They're gonna be... There's gonna be 5 3-day events around the country. July 5th through the 7th is in Orlando. The 19th through the 21st is in Philly. August 2nd to the 4th is in Chicago, 16th through the 18th in Houston, and August 30th to September 1st is in Anaheim. And with one being in Philly, I'm kind of tempted to see if I could get a trip down there to check this thing out.
I think you should. I think you should do it for the show.
That would be interesting. And
also because you like Halo. But you could be like... I gotta do it for the show. We gotta be able to talk about this. And Eternal's in Redneck Land. She has no hope of ever getting to this. So it's all on my shoulders.
Doc Havoc, Ian saying if it's affordable, I'd be down with a trip to Philly. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Road trip.
Should set something up. Maybe we could, I don't know if it's a free experience. I didn't really see all the details on it. I don't know if it's free or if it's paid or if each of the days is going to be the same, or if, you got to plan a weekend trip to catch everything. Who knows?
Maybe you can get a press pass.
Maybe.
And then it wouldn't matter what it costs.
Maybe. Well, you would still, if you do the whole weekend thing, you would need a hotel.
That's true.
And food. And then you have to drive in Philly, which that might be my biggest gripe. Driving in Philly.
Take a Lyft or an Uber. Is that what cool people in cities do?
I don't know, but it's a 2.5 hour drive from where I am to get to Philly, so I'm not taking a Lyft that entire way. That would be pricey.
Probably. But you could take one once you got there.
True.
Then you wouldn't have to drive to Philly. It'd be somebody else's responsibility to drive you around. Then you feel like royalty because you'd be like, bitch, you're my chauffeur. Drive. And yeah. That seems like a hell of a weekend to me.
Yeah, I might have to look into it. It's still a couple of months away, so we'll see. But I might have a trip in October to focus on instead. But we'll see.
I'm always disappointed when shit like this doesn't even come remotely close to me.
Well, how far are you from Philly?
I don't know.
How don't you know?
Because I don't even drive. I don't know how long it even takes me to get to the next town.
That is helpful.
I don't fucking know. 1, 2. I don't even know how to spell Philadelphia. Let's see. Get out of the way, Skype.
Just looking it up.
No, I don't want to flight. I don't want to fly. I want to. Oh Lord Jesus! You got to go all the way through West Virginia.
No, it's like a 9-hour drive. Never mind.
I mean, that's basically the same as getting to the other side of the state, but it was. I don't know. I add on a few more hours, and I could have just went to the fucking beach. So
Chicago's 7.5, so that one's closer for you.
I don't want to get murdered, though. I was sitting here debating if that was an acceptable joke to make.
Sure, of course it is. No one's going to hear this.
I was like, that seems a little too much, even for me. I don't want to get murdered in Chicago, though.
Oh, God.
I mean, I'm already on the cusp of getting shot just whenever my neighbors decide they see a possum, so I don't know. I should probably feel at home in Chicago with gunfire. I'm like, it's like being back in redneck land, but with smog.
Yeehaw!
Shit.
Let's see. What other news do we have from Inside Xbox? They announced a bunch of games coming to Game Pass this month.
Indeed. You know what I did? I made little notes in my book that I bought just for keeping notes for the show, and then I forgot to even open it.
Proud of you.
Yay. Okay, continue. What were we talking about?
Game Pass for February. 3 games were added on the 7th this week. We got Pumped BMX Pro, which launched to Game Pass, which we'll be talking about later on in the show. The Walking Dead, the complete first season, which is interesting given all the Telltale kerfuffle that's going on, that it's winding up in Game Pass.
I'm curious if that means they're just like, Microsoft isn't going to come along and go, hey, can we pay you for this? And just dump all of them in Game Pass.
That would be cool.
That would be incredible. And basically, I would suspect that Skybound has been because that's Robert Kirkman owns Skybound and The Walking Dead is his baby.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe he was like, hey, let's give them one and see how it works out.
Maybe.
And then they could give us all of them and I could finally play the last season. Okay.
But Pump BMX, The Walking Dead, and also Shadow of the Tomb Raider, all on the 7th.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a killer edition, and that is an incredible game.
That's a pretty big one. I'm excited about that one.
If you play it for no other reason than to just stand around and play with photo mode, it's still worth your time.
Dark Meek is saying that Shadow is a demo, apparently not the actual game. I've seen conflicting reports on Reddit, and it seems that the people saying it's a demo haven't actually played it, and the people who've actually played it said it's the full game. So
I could test it out, but not right now. I think I don't know. I don't know if I deleted it off my Xbox or not, but I had Shadow the Tomb Raider on my review account and not on my home account.
Well, so you could try it and test it.
So if I launch it and it works, but that depends on whether or not I got unruly the other day and cleaned a bunch of shit off my hard drive.
Nope, Awesome Prime in the chat. I'm playing it now. It's a full game. So Shadow the Tomb Raider is the full game, despite some reports.
Yeah, it launched on my home account. So it's the full game.
There you go. Confirmed. Live on the show. February 14th, we're going to be getting De Blob, which is cool.
I have heard about this game and I have not played it.
I love the De Blob games. They're just simple, fun, cute. The first one's kind of rough. The second I thought the second was a lot more polished, but they're both fun games.
Yeah. It looks adorable. It looks like something I would have played, so I'm surprised I haven't yet.
So you'll get to in a week.
I'll have time. Pretend like I'm going to.
Yes, obviously. February 15th is Crackdown 3, which, everyone knows about. I'm excited for that.
Whee!
And then February 21st is Batman Return to Arkham, which is pretty cool.
And it's not just it's Arkham Asylum and
Arkham City.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it to save myself.
Good thing I'm here.
I don't do Batman. But
No.
it was both of them. So I've heard incredible things about the Batman Arkham games.
Well, there you go. Try one out.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Like I ever get time again, but next.
last bit of news I have is that Skybound Games, who we mentioned earlier, announced a partnership with Beamdog to bring a number of classic RPGs to console for the first time, both digital and physical. More details and specific platforms will be announced in the near future, but they did announce games that they're planning on bringing, those being Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate Siege of the Dragonspear, Icewind Dale, Planetscape Torment, and Neverwinter Nights. So that is really, really cool. And hopefully they all show up on Xbox.
That's pretty impressive. Honestly, Skybound's been pretty decent to bring stuff to Xbox. I don't know offhand that they have anything PlayStation exclusive.
I have no clue.
I'd have to Google it.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
You missed some big news.
What else? What do you have to talk about?
Plants vs. Zombies tweeted out that they are working on a new game for console and PC.
Nice.
They did not flat out say that it was Garden Warfare 3.
But I would be excited as shit if it is Garden Warfare 3.
But seeing as it was most certainly on the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare account, I'm gonna take a bet and say they're working on Garden Warfare 3.
Well,
I have high hopes.
Maybe we will hear more at E3.
And in all reality, I love the Plants vs. Zombies universe so much that I don't give a shit what they bring. It's like I'm still gonna eat it up. I'm just gonna be like, fuck yes, give me plants and zombies. And it's gonna be great.
Well, the EA confirmed that there's more Titanfall in the works for later this year, so maybe it's a Titanfall Plants vs. Zombies crossover game.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, and now I really want that to happen.
Shit out of that. I really would.
Plants vs. Zombies versus Titans.
I would be like, hi, I can't do reviews for the show anymore because this is my life now.
Yeah, the show would end.
Yeah. Also, we missed the Sea of Thieves friend event that is currently going on, where if you have Sea of Thieves, but you don't have friends that will play with you, you can get 3 codes to give to friends, and they can play for the next week.
Yeah.
That's pretty fantastic.
That is cool.
There's also a new update, but I missed all the details of what was going to be in it. Because I'm the best, yo.
I didn't even watch the Inside Xbox. I just went off of an email that I got after the event. I slept through it.
Joe.
So, I know.
You need to wake your whore ass up.
Hey,
we got shit to do.
I've been feeling sick this week. Don't give me shit, woman.
I'm going to say that like I haven't slept for 4 days. Like, I go to physical therapy and I come home and I sleep for the next 3 days and then I come back again. Therapy. It's sad. I should not be so fucked up that an hour of physical therapy puts me on my ass for 3 days. But here we are. Yeah, time has been rough period this week. That's all. I think that's all my notes.
That's all your news?
Beta, Sea of Thieves update, friend event, Game Pass, Apex Legends. Crackdown 3's achievement list is out, which we mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, I checked through achievements. Crackdown 3 has an achievement list. There's nothing listed for Wrecking Zone, so either Wrecking Zone is going to have its own separate achievement list or none.
Interesting.
I'm going to guess its own separate list.
Yeah. Give us all the achievements. Just so Carnage can yell at you for more achievements.
But I guess that's all the news for the week. Anything else that you want to discuss, or are you ready to jump into reviews?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
All right. First game to talk about is called Wargroove, developed and published by Chucklefish. Released February 1st on Xbox One, Switch, and PC for $19.99, and features cross-platform play among the three, which is really cool. Wargroove is a turn-based strategy game for up to 4 players in which each player takes control of an army and its commander unit to wage war on their enemies. Wargroove is extremely easy to pick up with accessibility at the forefront of its design and very difficult to master with deep gameplay mechanics that complement strategic play. Cole, tell us about it.
That's pretty much the bread and butter. It's super easy to pick up, but it's really hard to master. It is a strategy and tactic type game with turn-based combat.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was surprised that you wanted to cover this one.
I know, and I'm not. You know how I always say I pick a favorite? Mm-hmm. I spent what little time I had playing too much of this. Because I was just so into it, and I was so pissed off whenever the AI would outmaneuver me. And I was just like, oh, fuck, that bitch can't do that again. No. So, there are 3 gameplay modes. There's campaign, puzzle, and arcade. Campaign is going to be like your meat and potatoes, obviously, of the game. Mm-hmm. It tells the story of, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Mercia, who's been forced to ascend to the throne. She's now a queen after the assassination of her father. The king being assassinated has thrown the land into war, and basically you're going to have to outmaneuver some really shitty characters to make the best of it and bring things to peace, which I didn't do. I got fought pretty hard. There's an overview map, and you will basically move from area to area as your party, and then once you get to an area, you play the mission associated with it, which brings up a grid style map. The map will have some decent terrain options, and you'll want to take the terrain into consideration as you move your units around the map. This is basically like chess cranked to 10. You'll want to consider how your units can move, how far they can move, how they attack, what kind of other units they're vulnerable to, what kind of units they're more effective against. Do they work better in groups? Do they work better if they're paired next to a commander, for example? There are pikemen as one of your units, and if you have 2 pikemen groups together, like in side-by-side grids, mm-hmm. you have an increased chance of a critical hit. Or if you have a swordsman that is in a grid that's adjacent to his commander, then you have increased damage, for example. It's an like you said in the summary, it's easy to pick up because you're just like, oh, I'm just going to move the characters around and hope for the best. But if you really want to get the most out of the game and you really want to get somewhere, then you're going to have to learn how to use your units effectively and how to move them around the map so that you're making the most out of the environment as well. It's incredibly fun. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. Usually when you play a game like this, the AI are really fucking stupid and they just bum rush you over and over and let you murder them. But the AI in Wargroove are exceptionally smart, and they will know when to back the fuck up from you and how to flank your units. You can't just like go full on attack. You have to really think about where you're moving because they will outmaneuver you.
That's cool.
If you do, screw up and you lose the mission, then you have the option to restart it. You're not negatively affected by that. You can keep retrying and learning from your mistakes. But the AI are prepared for you to learn from your mistakes, and they're gonna adjust accordingly to how you move with each time you play. They are not on set paths that you can just learn a pattern. They're gonna come for you. There was one of the biggest issues with a game like this is that there's so much potential for unit types and ways to play it that it can be really overbearing. If you're not gonna sit there with like a Wikipedia open, the game wiki and a notebook and like consider your placement, you're gonna struggle a little. You really are. Like for the first couple of levels, you can kind of blunder your way through, but eventually you need to learn what you're actually doing.
So it sounds pretty complex.
Yes.
On underneath the surface.
It looks like it's got an adorable pixel art style. There's the little
it looks like Advance Wars. I love the look of the game.
The cutscenes are so adorable, and like the skellies are sitting there, rah, and your little dudes just go running over to their side of the screen and whack the shit out of them. It sounds ridiculous to say it's adorable, but it is. It's adorable war. But I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Woo! It's gone. It's adorable war.
Adorable war. It's warable.
Oh God, that was horrible. So there is multiplayer for this. If you run through the campaign and you just haven't had enough war, you can play multiplayer. There is local and there is online. There is also the ability to make your own maps. That's where the online flourishes the most, because there is so much creativity going on with the online maps. Not only can you make a map and you can share a map, but once it's shared, it's available on all of the platforms except PlayStation.
Well, it's not out on PlayStation yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's available everywhere else. But it is really cool that, you can create a map on the PC version and it'd be available to Xbox players, or you can play it on the Switch or what have you. But there were actually articles about people building Fire Emblem Fates. They were building maps based on Fire Emblem Fates.
That's cool as hell.
So the community, they're not holding back. You're gonna have plenty to play.
That's cool. So overall, $20 on this one. What do you think of it?
I gave it a definite buy it. I had a lot of fun with it. If you like any kind of tactical games. Now, if you want to go in guns blazing and not have to think about it, you're probably not going to be as amused. But if you like to learn from your mistakes and take it slow and be a little stealthy, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Awesome. I picked this one up myself. I have not had time to play it, but given your glowing review, I'm going to have to do that this weekend.
You really should. I think you'll like it.
But I picked it up. I had to support the dev.
Yay!
So
support the dev.
I love doing that. Next game to talk about is called Salt and Sanctuary, developed and published by Ska Studios, released February 6th on Xbox One for $17.99. Explore a haunting, punishing island in this stylized 2D action RPG. Salt and Sanctuary combines fast and brutal 2D combat with richly developed RPG mechanics in a cursed realm of forgotten cities, blood-soaked dungeons, and desecrated monuments. Cole, tell us about it.
So, some games try to hide that they're inspirations and keep it under wraps. The games that come before them that they're inspired by. Salt and Sanctuary doesn't try to hide it. This is very much inspired by Dark Souls, and it just drips it in every regard. I haven't even played Dark Souls, and I was just like, wow. This is everything I've ever seen and been told about Dark Souls. Just to the core. So you start the game by choosing the type of class that you want to play as. There's 8 to choose from. It is a 2D RPG. So that is a little bit of a deviation from Dark Souls. It is 2D instead of 3. But it is an RPG adventure. You're going to be hacking and slashing your way through the undead. So you want to pick your starting class carefully. There are, like I said, 8 different ones to choose from. There are knights, there are mages, there are all kinds of tank type characters. And then if you really feel unruly, you can be a chef. I mean, good luck to you because you start off with items that are relevant to the type of character you choose. Like I played as a knight, and so I had a sword and a shield, obviously. But if you choose a chef, you're gonna have a cook pot and some potatoes that you can throw.
Fuck yeah.
So,
potatoes are, obviously super powerful in the game.
Yeah. I mean, look at it this way. With all the salt you're picking up from the enemies, you're going to make some killer mashed potatoes.
Hell yeah.
And also maybe have high blood pressure. But
hell yeah.
That's if you actually get to use the salt that you earn. So the salt stands in place of souls. So when you kill an enemy, it drops salt. And you're going to use your salt as currency. You'll use it for upgrades. You'll use it to level up. You'll use it for basically everything. Except for actual currency, which you have to use if you want to buy like armor. But if you want to do upgrades or level up or unlock any kind of additional skills in that obscenely large skill tree.
Yeah, the skill tree in this game is daunting, to say the least. It is fucking huge.
I got to a point where I was like, I don't even know what I'm selecting anymore because there's just so much, and some of the icons are really repetitive, and I'm like, well, this looks good enough. I might as well click on the donkey. Fuck, I don't know what a donkey does, but I'm going to click it. Makes it so you can carry more shit.
Nice.
Which was totally useless because as soon as you die, you lose a bunch of your shit.
And you'll die a lot.
You are going to die a lot. This is why I said good luck if you even get to use your salt, because if you die, you lose the salt. You can go back, and there will be a new enemy that spawns that you can kill and get your salt back, but you're just going to die 5 steps later again, so it doesn't fucking matter. The most suitable solution I found for this was, obviously, you get salt from killing the enemies, and you have your sanctuary. So the sanctuary is where you upgrade, you can make offerings to whatever god you follow. There are different religions with different effects on your character. Again, this is one of those where like I just did not have enough time to go into all the different branches of possibilities because there were so many.
Yeah.
I chose light and fire. And so every time I spawned, I got bonus health, for example.
Nice.
Some extra health potions. So, hallelujah, because I died a lot and I really needed those fucking health potions. They still didn't save my ass because I kept dying a lot. So what you're really going to want to do is go out, grind some salt, go back to your sanctuary, upgrade as much as you can,
Rinse,
go the
repeat.
fuck out and do it again. Lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. As soon as you think you finally upgraded enough to take on a boss, stop and go grind 5 more times. Because you are going to fucking die.
You are. I think I spent the better part of an hour repeatedly trying to fight like the first boss in the game. I'm clearly not nearly as far as you have made it into the game, but I spent so much time just going up, fighting him, getting him really low on health, and then dying and losing all my salt.
Because just as soon as you think that you've got him down to where he's going to die, that first one is just a motherfucker if there ever was one. But just as soon as you think that you've got him down to anywhere where there's a lot of muscle memory involved with the boss battles, and to an extent you just need to memorize their patterns and how to dodge them and when to attack. But they get to a point where they're like, okay, well, you figured out the pattern. Now we're just going to crank it to 11. It's going to be so super fast you can't respond.
Oh, yeah.
And
so, that's where I would die every time.
If you haven't mastered the ability of dodging and blocking and getting the fuck out of trouble, you're screwed.
Yes.
And that's pretty accurate for most of the game. It's your ability to attack is all well and good, but your ability to get the fuck out matters most.
Yeah, dodging is going to be your savior in this game.
Yeah, it really is. This kind of game is something that I normally would kind of skip on because it would be so difficult. And I did struggle with it, but I also really enjoyed it. That feeling of satisfaction when you finally take out that boss that's holding you back and you get all the salt that fucker has stole from you.
That's one of the good things I like about this game is that when a boss kills you, they just keep hoarding the salt that they've stolen from you.
Oh my God.
So when I finally killed that first boss, I went right back to the sanctuary and leveled up like 8 times.
Yeah. And you can bulk level up. Did you know that?
Yep.
You can hold X and it will let you keep going as long as you have enough salt to pay for it. Once you hit the max of how much salt you have, then it says no, you can't bulk up past this level. But you can just hit the button and it just goes 27 levels thanks to all that salt you were hoarding. I just like to pretend that I wasn't actually struggling with the bosses. They were just my salt banks, and they were holding it for me until I was ready.
There you go. Good way to look at it.
I was being desperately positive because otherwise I was going to break something, and Elite controllers are expensive.
Yes, they are. I want to take a second to point out I love the visual style of this game. I have always loved the look and sound of Ska Studios games. And they nailed it again. The Dishwasher, Charlie Murder. I made a game with zombies in it. They were all just, I love the visual style that Ska Studios does. That hand-drawn scribble kind of look to it. I love it. And I thought Salt and Sanctuary was gorgeous.
My first thought as a character design. Have you ever seen that old meme, Salad Fingers?
Yeah.
They look very much like salad fingers. I just couldn't shake it from my, if you could put a pink, I picked pink hair because of course I did. So if you put a pink wig on salad fingers and made him flesh tone, that would be the character.
I obviously made mine bald with a beard.
I just giggled the whole time. I was like, I know it's supposed to be dark and gritty, but she just looks so funny. And kudos to them for letting you choose. They don't play around with character customization. You could choose your hairstyle, you could choose your character's gender, you could choose your class, obviously, and you could choose all kinds of different hair colors and facial hair. You wanted to have long pink hair and be a female and have a beard, fuck it, go for it.
Do it up.
It was so funny. I was just clicking through the options. I was like, I just want to sit here and play with this. just to see what I could come up with.
Well, I got to know, $18 on this one. What do you think of it?
I think it's a really good price. It's a solid game. It is going to be difficult, and it's not for everybody. And I did have one hiccup. I don't know if you noticed, but I had a couple of moments of micro freezing. But one of the biggest things that caught me was it's really hard to get used to the game when you're jump attacking. Your character kind of just pauses for a couple of seconds. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I don't know if I ever get used to that. And that can make it really difficult.
Yeah, you stop in the air on a jump attack, which you can use to your advantage against some enemies, but it is weird to get used to. Yeah. I didn't run into any micro freezes, though, so that might be something on your end. That's
probably because I was running back and forth and grinding the fuck out of soul. I was hitting the same areas like 74 million times. But yeah, the pausing with the jump attack was definitely a hiccup, in my opinion. Maybe they mean for it to be like that, but it's just extra frustration on an already frustrating game. That said, I do still think that it's a try it. I get that the game is supposed to be hard and that it's very Dark Souls inspired, and that's all well and good. But I do, for accessibility's sake, wish that there was an easier difficulty.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bitch.
Just got to keep grinding. Yeah. I'm going to go with a buy it on this one. I love the game. I think it looks great. It plays great. I can see why the game was such a big deal on PS4 and Switch, and I'm glad that it finally made it to Xbox. Yeah.
It's a fantastic game, and I don't think anybody that's an RPG fan is going to be disappointed anyway.
You want to know what else I'm excited about?
Dropping bits.
Oh, dropping bits!
Yes, dropping bits. No Time, thank you for the 54 biddies. We appreciate you. We appreciate your bits, and we appreciate Norg with his sound effect.
So good.
I fucking love that. Like, I just want people to donate bits so I can play it again.
Just one bit, and we're still tickled.
Exactly. I mean, if you...
Oh, wait! Hold on a second.
Oh my god, do you have a bit?
Oh my god. I forgot. I did a survey.
Oh, 100 biddies. You know what that means.
Dropping bits! Ah! All over your fucking face! Ah! Wet pancakes!
So good. so very good.
I can see on the camera where you went to rub your nose, but I thought you were going to like have to wipe a tear from your eye.
I'm so proud of George for what he's done. So good.
Fantastic.
Oh, man. Anyway, next game to talk about is called Pipe Push Paradise, developed by Corey Martin and Stage Clear Studios, published by Digerati. It released February 5th on PS4, February 8th on Xbox One for $10.99. Pipe Push Paradise is a challenging plumbing-based puzzle game. You've arrived on a lonely island faced with a hero's calling. Rise to the occasion by pushing pipes around and restore this paradise to its former glory. Cole, tell us about it.
So this on the surface is a seemingly easy enough game to play. It's open world. It's an island. It's a kind of an isometric view. And you have your little character, and she can wander around, and the island has basically experienced the world's greatest plumbing problem. And so you just need to push the pipes around and be super plumber and fix everything.
So you're Mario.
But with less turtles. No Yoshi, but, you know. So there are 47 puzzles, which each puzzle is basically a leak, and it's self-contained. Even though the island is all open world, it kind of has like a puzzle look. Or not like a puzzle, but a maze look.
I would hope a puzzle game looks like a puzzle.
So sue me. Like I said, It's a rough one. But it has kind of like a maze layout, and you can access each puzzle as like a little self-contained section of the maze. So you can move about them freely. They are a variety of difficulties. Some are really super easy, and you just gotta push a pipe or two and you're done. Others would get really fucking complicated, and you have to consider that you may push a pipe, but it will actually not just move, but maybe rotate as well. So then you have to consider how you're going to maneuver the pipes around not just each other, but also the limitation of the shape of the puzzle area. Because if you get stuck in a corner, you're fucked.
Nice.
The plus side is that you can undo and redo very easily at the push of a button without any kind of consequence for it. And you can also, if you fuck up too bad, you can just press Y and restart. And there's no negative consequence to restarting or undoing or anything. There's no limits. You can just take your time and work through the puzzle at your leisure. But realistically, some of them really do get fucking hard. And you would not expect a game that is so simple on the surface to be that difficult. Sometimes you will be sitting there pushing the pipes around and you're just like, I fucking hate you. Why won't you go where you're supposed to? And then the glory of it is that because it's such an open world and there's other puzzles just chilling out, that when you get that frustrated, you can just walk out and go do another puzzle.
Oh, guess what just happened?
I have to stop. Yeah.
Dropping bits!
Thank you, Awesome Prime, for your 5 biddies. We appreciate you.
We do.
And George appreciates you as well. Yeah. Anyway, as you were.
But yeah, anyway, the undos, the redos, the resets, they're all plentiful. There's no punishment if you give up and want to go fuck with another puzzle for a little bit and try your hand at that. Even leaving a puzzle doesn't reset it. So you can come back if you get a good chunk of a puzzle, but you're stuck on one part or 2 parts. You can walk away from it, come back to it later, and it will still be the same, and you can try it again. Cool. So it's simple on the surface. There are 47 puzzles. They get insanely difficult, but they are a lot of fun, and I think that the game kind of goes out of its way to make it so that you don't feel stressed while trying to solve them. You just feel successful when you do it right.
Was the difficulty a bit much for you? I believe Chris Taylor was the one who covered it on Switch, and he had a lot of trouble with some of the puzzles. Some of them do get really... I haven't completed it yet because there's some that are holding me back. Holding you back. So, yeah. Them goddamn pops. Pops. Some of them are really tough. They really, really are. Like I hope somebody, I don't know, there may be guides. I haven't looked for them yet because I was trying to be nice and just do it without a guide for the review. But I hope there are guides somewhere that can make it a little easier. So you could clean up and get your 1,000? Yeah. I need to do some mopping up. Nice. Well, overall, $11 on it. What do you think? I definitely give it a buy it. It's really well done. One of the most interesting things is that there was potential to fuck this up because some of those pieces do some wonky shit, and they never felt like I was messing up, like because the game had done something wrong. If I fucked up, it was because I fucked up. I pushed a piece where it wasn't supposed to go. And then it was easy enough to fix without any kind of punishment that I thought it was, even though it gets difficult, it's something most people can pick up and play. Cool. Yeah. I've been eyeing this one up as well. I might have to jump on this one. How much is it? $12? $10.99. I think you should do it. Fucking fine, I will. I don't know. How much do you like puzzle games? I love puzzle games. You should know that. Yeah, I know. But I just wanted to make you say it. Is that like you just want to find a way to make George keep saying dropping bits?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway, next game to talk about is called Day D Through Time, developed by Uni-Bit Studio, published by 8 Floor, released January 30th on Xbox One for $9.99. Brian is a gifted and eccentric scientist who has created a time machine and traveled into the past. But it turns out you can't expect a careless stroll through the land of dinosaurs. His former friend Dr. Terrible is already here. He created a time machine before Brian and has already managed to install game mechanics in the dinosaur or game machines in the dinosaur era. Can you stop Dr. Terrible? Cole, did you stop?
No.
What?
Because in the game, his name is Dr. Awful. I'm so confused.
Uh-oh. So is it awful or terrible?
It's definitely in the game. It's definitely Dr. Awful.
Oh, boy.
I'm confused. Day D through time. But, yeah, it's definitely Dr. Awful in the game. So Dr. Awful wants to build an evil dinosaur army, and he's gone back in time to do it, and, you have to stop him by creating an army of dinosaurs that's not evil. I'm not so sure that plots are this developer's strong suit. And yet somehow it's okay. I don't think you're particularly playing this game for the hardcore story anyway. And so it's surprisingly forgivable, but it's also incredibly forgettable, which is probably why they don't even remember that it's Dr. Awful and not Dr. Terrible. Yeah, I'm so flabbergasted by this turn of events. So the gameplay is literally copy and paste of Gnome Garden, which we have reviewed in the past. I reviewed one in the past. You have a map for each level, and it has laid out with a sort of like a strategy puzzle type gameplay where there are different obstacles and there are different resources, and you have to collect the resources and clear the obstacles to complete an objective, which is usually something like light a campfire or fix a bridge, scare away a T-Rex, whatever, minor objective it gives you. You're just trying to point and click your way through it. You can build and upgrade different buildings, although sometimes part of the puzzle will mean that you will need a resource that you don't necessarily have. So you may need stone, but you only have a sawmill for logs. So you're going to have to, open up a path to a marketplace and build a market and upgrade a market so that you can trade your logs for stones. And then at the same time, you're still going to need those logs to upgrade your other, your base where your pet robot lives that helps you, for example, so that you can have 2 pet robots instead of just 1. Or you may need extra crystals for power resources so that you can actually send your robots out to do things. Basically, you just point and click at the resources and the items that you want to build in the order that you want the robots to go do these things for you, and they will carry out the tasks. As you play, though, there is a meter on the side, and it will gradually drain. So you get a 1, 2, or 3 star level based on how quickly you solve the puzzles. You can beat the game and not even get 1 star, but you can run out of time and not complete it and have to start all over. There is an achievement for 3-starring all the levels, and that's probably going to be the most difficult thing you do in this game, and it's not difficult at all.
No.
These are super easy completions if you just want to sit down and take 2 or 3 hours to do it.
Which sometimes you need in a game. Sometimes you don't need a super in-depth experience. You just want something to play for a little bit, fuck around, and move on.
I think that's kind of the glory of these games. And I've even said before, I actually really liked Gnome Garden. I played 3. I didn't get a chance to get 1 and 2. I don't know what happened there. I think we didn't get them for review. And so I just haven't picked them up. I'll probably catch them on sale real cheap at some point and grab them. And then let them sit in the backlog forever.
Nice.
That's what I do. But I really enjoy these games. As simple as they are, they're easy to play absent-mindedly. Like I was playing this one this morning at 5:30 in the morning.
Damn.
I had like 2 hours of sleep, and it was horrible, shitty sleep. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't have the functionality to play literally anything else. And so I played this, and I was perfectly content, and I played for far too long, and then almost missed my doctor's appointment because I was like, shit, I've got to leave. But I have crystals to collect. I am almost out of time. I have to 3 stars. So these games, they're simple, they're easy to play. They're a good palate cleanser. They're quick completion, and I genuinely enjoy them.
Cool. So $10, what do you think?
I give it a buy it. That sounds crazy. I mean, they really are, the Gnome Gardens, and this one I assume is a series as well. They're a little bit copy and paste. And if you've played one, you've played all of them, but they're cheap enough. They're easy completions. They're not bad. They're genuinely not bad.
Cool. So, yeah. I know I picked up the Gnomes Gardens one. I haven't picked up Day D, but I might have to grab it.
I think the whole concept of the story for this one is a lot funnier than the Gnomes Gardens one. Like, just every bit of it is a little obscene and kind of, it's just funny.
I love the fact that the description, like the copy that I got, calls him Dr. Terrible.
I'm telling you, like,
but the game is Dr. Awful.
To a later level and realize that maybe he morphs into Dr. Terrible or something. In that case, spoiler alert.
Or it'd be even funnier if you're just wrong and his name is Dr.
Like, I'm gonna go find a screenshot or take one of my own and send it to you and be like, that bitch's name is Dr. Awful. Nice.
All right, well, we got one final game to talk about tonight. That is called Pumped BMX Pro, developed by Yeah Us Games and Warp Digital Entertainment, published by Curve Digital, released February 7th on Xbox One, Switch, and PC for $14.99, also a part of Xbox Game Pass. Pump BMX Pro is the next installment in the high-adrenaline, fast-paced arcade BMX trickathon. Master 60 levels and over 200 challenges while pulling off as many radical stunts as possible on one of 15 different bikes. Cole, tell us about this one.
Fuck those stunts. They're hard.
But before you do...
dropping bits!
Awesome Prime with another 10 biddies for us, so thank you for that, and back to the game.
Okay, so there are 15 writers that you can choose from. 13 of them are generic dudes.
I think they might be developers.
Maybe? They're all white guys. And then there's
girls.
one black guy and one white chick.
There you go.
One.
So it might be developers, so I'm not sure.
Maybe? I
Could
don't
be.
know. Now I need to go research that, and I feel bad that I didn't research it from the start.
Oh, how dare you.
I just assumed that maybe, because they seem to have different affiliations under their names, that I just assumed that maybe they were actual, like, people that I didn't know. They have very legit sounding names. So, pick your rider, pick your bike, and you're going to go on a 2D adventure of trying to rack up score from doing some insane tricks and stunts and not wiping out 974 million times. That's what I did.
That's what I did too.
I broke my neck a lot.
Before we get into anything else, I just want to say I love ragdoll physics in games like this.
You know what's frustrating though? When you wreck, but your bike is still upright and you just can't go. So they shrug and they just fall over.
You just shrug and
you're
fall.
like, but you were just sitting there fine. don't understand you. It's like they just go, I'm stuck, shrug, dead. It's like, do they just magically snap their own necks? Have you ever seen like Supernatural where the demons, they snap their fingers and then so the character like just turns their head, jerks it to the side?
Oh, God.
And it's like supposed to, insinuate that the demons snapped their fingers and broke their neck. That's how I feel happens to the ragdolls when you wreck in these games and they just kind of shrug. It's like maybe they just kind of snap their own necks on the inside. Anybody that hasn't seen Supernatural is just going to be like, the fuck's this bitch talking about?
Pretty much.
That show's on its 300th episode, so you have no excuse for not having at least watched it once.
Oh, God.
One episode. You'll understand. But you're going to wreck a lot while you're trying to accomplish these goals. I want to call it a track, but it feels weird to call it a track for some reason. It is a track, I guess. Each track is basically laid out. The course might feel a little more accurate. Yeah, let's go with course. Each course is laid out so that if you really want to challenge yourself, there's 4 challenges, and they're laid out in a way that you should be able to accomplish all those challenges in one run. I can't do that. I am far worse at this game than I expected. But I completed Bike Mayhem 2 and I was like the 6th person to do it. And I was like, I got this. I'm going to roll up in here. I'm going to be doing no-handers and Supermans. And yeah, doing the tricks is easy. Landing
the trick
is a whole different story. Because this isn't just a case of, oh, your wheel touches down and you've landed it. Because your wheel can touch down and you're still going to wreck like a bitch. You have to, like, actually hit the ground running and be pumping your pedals when you hit, or you're going to wreck. And so I wrecked a lot because I'm like, oh, I forgot to hold A.
You got to make sure you keep your speed up, too, and land properly. Because if you don't have enough speed to make a jump, you wreck again. Right.
There's a lot of emphasis on momentum with this one. I didn't actually play Pump BMX. Did it have that same emphasis on momentum?
I don't know. It's been too long since I played that one.
Goddamn. So basically,
I know I'm not helpful.
The more tricks and stunts and stuff that you do while you're in the air and successfully land, the faster you're going to go. So you build up that momentum by kicking ass. And if you don't land it well, you're going to lose that momentum and you're not even going to be able to finish the course. It doesn't take long for you to get to a point where you're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to finish this one. And so you have to slow down and learn the course and plan your actual tricks instead of just trying to randomly just rack up as much as you can.
Makes sense.
I was shocked. I shouldn't have been. But I was shocked by the scores on the leaderboard because there was one level where, one of the early ones, where I got all the stars in one run. I had a clearly good enough score to get all the stars. One shot. Did all the challenges one shot. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to nail this game. It was early. I was dumb. Sometimes I get a little too optimistic in my abilities. But I look at it and I'm like, oh, I got all the stars. I had 24,000 points. And I thought, that's not bad. And then I look at the leaderboard and the top person had 124,000.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like a super short ass track. And I was so proud of myself, and it was for nothing. Like, I don't even think I was in like the top 10 pages. And so I'm clearly not good. And I am not I don't stand a chance of even completing it, let alone 1K'ing it. It's a lot harder than I expected.
Yeah, and a lot of the achievements in the game are for doing specific tricks in specific orders.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard. I think one of my biggest gripes with the game is the tricks are mapped to the right analog stick. And you have to push a certain direction to do a certain trick. Except I feel I'm pushing a direction, but I'm really pushing a different direction.
Yeah.
And it's not up, down, left, right. It's up, right, down, down, left. So it's all 8 directions. And you're going to think you're pressing one way and you're just doing the wrong trick. So if you have a big trick combination that you're trying to master for one of the challenges and you do something wrong, you got to start back over. That
was one of the things that got me too, because in a lot of these other games that I played like this, you can, it'll say, oh, do a backflip. And if you do like, oh, you did a 720 backflip, it still gives you credit for doing the backflip. Not this one. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I had to do a 360 because I'd accidentally bump the analog and do a no hand. Or I'd bump it and do a Superman 360 and it'd be like, nope, didn't count, do it again.
Or you do a double backflip and it's like, no, that wasn't a backflip.
Yep.
Try again. Yeah,
that was incredibly frustrating because it was like, I did what you wanted, I just did it a little fancier. And for all intents and purposes, you should really be celebrating when I do anything fancy in this game. The least you could do is give me a fucking dot and say I completed the challenge.
Yeah.
I was definitely frustrated with that. The art style, initially I was kind of put off by it. It's very cartoonish and kind of flat, but when you're actually trying to do the stunts and you're trying to control that fucking bike, you don't notice any of your surroundings anyway.
Yeah, because you're just focused on landing what you're trying to land.
You're so intent on the next step of the course, you do not care what anything else looks like. So I forgave it pretty quickly. And initially I was like, this is really the best this looks like? Why does everybody keep telling me that Pump BMX is so cool and it looks like this? And so, I was like, oh, because nobody gives a shit what it looks like. They just want to try to get score.
It's just a fun game, and they want to focus on the gameplay and not the visuals.
Yeah. I am really curious now if the initial was as focused on the momentum aspect. I feel like Bike Mayhem had the momentum. I'm done.
Want to try that again?
Bike Mayhem had the momentum aspect to it as well. But I feel like it was far more forgiving than Pump BMX is. Because, like I said, if you're not already pumping your pedals as soon as you hit that ground, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And you can throw a whole run literally the last second just because you let off of the A button too soon.
Yeah, you can, which I've done many, many, many times.
It's disappointing because you're like, no, I'm killing it. And then you're like, oh, I'm at the end. And you let go. And then they just...
Son of a bitch.
They break their own neck and fall over. And you're like, I don't understand you. Was there a rock? What the fuck happened?
Oh, man. But overall, $15 on this one. What do you think of it?
I think for $15, it's really a good deal. And you should still buy it. At the very least, try it. It's in Game Pass. But when you break it down, and there's 60 different levels, 40 different tricks. Each level has 4 challenges, so you've got a shit ton to do.
Oh yeah,
and you're gonna be forever trying to do it. So that is definitely you're gonna get your return on investment as far as time playing goes. So yeah, I do definitely at least say try it.
Yeah, and seriously, it's in Game Pass, so just fucking try it.
Yeah.
If you don't have Game Pass by now, what is wrong with you?
If you don't have Game Pass, you're listening to the wrong show.
The game is $15, or a month of Game Pass is $10.
Yeah.
So get a month of Game Pass, play the game, and then just buy a year of Game Pass.
God damn it.
I can't help it. Game Pass is just fucking awesome. There's so many cool games that we've gotten for free through there. Well, not for free. You're paying a subscription fee. But like new releases that have come out directly to Game Pass, like Pump BMX Pro, that it makes the cost of the game so, or I'm turning into you.
Yeah.
Want to try that one again? Yeah. I think that the games that come out monthly, I mean, look at this month. Crackdown's coming out for $60. Or you could buy 6 months of Game Pass. That's what I did with Sea of Thieves. Buy
6 months of Game Pass and get 2 months of Sling, because I think they're still doing that promotion, actually. So, get you some TV, too.
Back to the TV discussion, bringing it full circle.
Look at that. That's comedy gold.
Oh, Lord. Well, that is it for this episode. We tackled everything, all the news, all the reviews. We gave a bunch of games away in chat.
You did. You were on a roll there.
I was. So if you're not hanging out for our live streams, you should do that sometime, because every now and then I'll get into these moods where I'm like, I feel like giving away a bunch of games. I think I gave away like 10 games today.
Yeah, they were just flashing across the screen.
Yeah.
Left, right, and center.
Come check out our...
And you fucking missed it.
You missed it because you would rather listen to the MP3 or the YouTube version than coming and hanging out with us live on Twitch as we bullshit and do nothing important at all.
I mean...
Good stuff.
I think my reviews are important.
True. So I gotta know, 5 games, what is your game of the week?
Wargroove.
You're going with Wargroove?
I'm going with Wargroove because if I'm not playing the Division 2 beta tonight, I'm probably gonna go play some Wargroove.
Nice. Well, if you're playing the Division 2 beta, let me know and maybe we could team up.
Sounds good.
Cool. But that is it for this episode. Cole, do you have any final words to end this?
Just fucking buy Game Pass already.
Yeah, for real. Come on, people. Get your shit together.
Get your shit together.
Get your fucking shit together and get Game Pass. And then play Crackdown with me.